Hey everybody, I'm Ron with Radiant Technology Solutions, and we're doing an SMB Connect interview today. And we have Catherine Henry with Henry Law in St. Petersburg. How are you today?
I'm lovely. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Happy it's a Friday. It's not raining for once, and ready for the weekend. So
Very
tell
much.
everybody a little bit about yourself and about what Henry Law does and what you're all about.
Certainly. So I started Henry Law in April of 2021 after being at the public defender's office for about 4.5 years. While I was at the PD's office, I specialized in domestic violence cases for about a year and a half, which is it's a significant amount of time to be in domestic violence court, but learned a lot. Um, it's actually one of the few opportunities as a public defender that you're getting to represent innocent people, especially at the misdemeanor level, where as opposed to representing people who have driving on suspended license charges or no valid driver's license, or a petty theft charge where it's very cut and dry, and there's surveillance videos from Walmart that you can zoom in and see the color of their eyes. So it's a lot more of an interesting area to be in, and like I said, it's a lot more fulfilling because you really feel like you're making a difference. So after spending a very fun amount of time in domestic violence court, I obviously had to go serve some time in the not so fun stuff with the traffic cases and such. Then I moved on to handle Baker Acts, which is also another very interesting and taxing area of the law, because you're in the Baker Act receiving facilities and doing those hearings 4 days a week. Then went on to felony, had a very, very positive experience in circuit court, and ultimately decided it was time to go out on my own and make a bigger difference and bigger impact, not in just Pinellas County, but now I represent people in Pasco County, Sarasota County, Manatee County, Hillsborough County. And also it's nice because as a public defender, you're limited in what you can help your clients with. And so I've actually had a lot of my public defender clients reach out to me after they've seen that I'm private now and come to me with other things that they need help with. So I'm able to really have more of an impact on the community now.
Well, that's awesome. I know you're involved with a lot of community stuff in the St. Pete area. You're on the bar, I believe. And did you want to talk about that at all? Tell us a little bit about
Yes,
that.
yes. So I just recently got sworn onto the board of directors for the St. Petersburg Bar Association. That organization is near and dear to my heart because I joined it as a baby lawyer. I met some amazing attorneys and judges in the St. Petersburg community. We do a lot with the community law program. It's an amazing organization that has really helped me, both professionally and personally. And then again, gives us more opportunity to give back to the community. So I'm very much involved with the St. Pete Bar Association. Our theme this year is We Are the St. Pete Bar, and it's all about keeping it local. So love that. And then I'm also actually on the board of directors for the Pinellas Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. So again, we work on educating our members on changes in the law, making sure that we have that communication so that lawyers can team together. We're not reinventing the wheel. So love working with that group of attorneys. And then also just got on the board of directors for the Pinellas chapter of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. And so again, it's kind of interesting seeing how each of the different organizations work within the legal community, but also partner outside the legal community. So with PFAL, we're partnering with local women-owned businesses. And they don't have to have any relation to the law. It's more just about promoting other women entrepreneurs and female professionals.
Very cool.
So, yeah, I very much love that. And then also with the community outreach through the St. Petersburg Bar Association, one of our past presidents, Lucas Fleming, he founded a nonprofit organization called Lawyers for Literacy. And I am so excited that we are coming back this year. We took a pause during 2020 due to the pandemic, and we're looking at being able to get back in the schools come January, where we work with children who are at risk of not passing due to their reading comprehension skills and passing the standardized tests. So we go into the schools, we're with them 1 day a week. We go over sight words that they should know. We go over like reading comprehension and, really just kind of give them that extra support and encouragement that they need to help them just kind of get that bump up that they need to be able to pass those tests.
Wow, it sounds like you're not just an attorney, you're a philanthropist as well, and a busy one at that.
Yes. Well, thankfully, St. Pete has a lot of really amazing ways that each of us can give back to the community and utilize, our own special set of skills to really broaden the reach and the difference that we can make.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned briefly, COVID, and then we talked about the domestic violence cases, and we work with some family attorneys, and I know that, divorce has been on the rise. I can only imagine that as a result, domestic violence has been on the rise as well. Would you agree?
Unfortunately, yes. Typically with domestic violence cases, you tend to see an uptick around holidays. So Christmas time, 4th of July, anytime that people are brought together and there's generally alcohol involved. And I think we can all agree that COVID gave us a lot more time with our families.
Yeah, and a lot of
and a
people
lot of
more
Pardon?
time with alcohol as well.
Yes. Yes, I was going to say a lot of people have put on the pounds from the increased consumption during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
So unfortunately, that does translate to many more issues in the home. People not being able to get away from the situations, or when we were on lockdown, you've got people who are normally would at least have some reprieve during the day from their abuser or situations, and now that's not happening. Or now we're back to it is, but during the pandemic, there was heightened levels of stress, which that puts everyone on edge, which again, like I said, we see an uptick around the holidays when everyone's stressed out about money and family and everything. That's when you tend to see more domestic violence issues arise.
Absolutely. There's still a lot of people not back to work yet. And they're stuck at home because they don't have the money or the means to get out and get away from it too. So I imagine it's still a ongoing issue.
Well, and a lot of families ended up having to choose between going to work and whether they could afford childcare, or not going to work and being able to stay at home with the kids. So again, it really impacted many different areas of life.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the backlog that it's caused in the court system, where we've got people who, I have a client right now, he has a case from 2019.
Wow.
That he's just waiting. And thankfully he's out of custody, but we have lots of clients who are in jail waiting for their trial, and it's just there's such a backlog and they don't have the money to bond out, or it's maybe they don't have a bond in some cases. So it really is just waiting for things to return to some degree of normalcy.
Are you guys still handling a lot of cases remotely, or is that back in the old courtroom with the gavel and judge and all that fun stuff?
So it really varies based not only on the circuit, the county, but also the judge. So the Chief Justice candidate did issue administrative orders, giving COVID protocols and direction. However, he gave a lot of leeway and left it up to the chief judges of each individual circuit. In our circuit, our chief judge has really left it up to the discretion of the individual judges, to how they want to run their courtroom, what their comfort levels are. So we have a wide array of COVID protocols. There are some courtrooms I go into and no one's wearing masks. The courtroom's filled with people. It's business as usual. And then there are other courtrooms where the judge is wearing a mask, everyone is on Zoom, there's limited numbers of people allowed in the courtroom at each time. It just really varies based, again, like I said, on the county and the judge.
Yeah, it's crazy how things are just so all over the place at the moment, but I think we'll find our way eventually. Man, it sounds like you really found your way into a good position with Henry Law. I'm sure you're really excited about, getting out on your own, and that's awesome. What was your motivation behind making that big change and starting it?
I really loved being a public defender. It's still very near and dear to my heart. I actually will still get calls from my PD clients, and I've kept on a few of their cases pro bono just because I feel very connected to them in their case. But after the amount of time I spent with the PD's office, it was time for more growth. And with the pandemic also, it was kind of things would become rather stagnant. And so I felt that going out on my own, I could have more of an impact in the community, not just in Pinellas County, but be able to have a wider reach and be able to help more people.
Awesome. Yeah. And it sounds like you're doing just that. And your office is in downtown St. Pete. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. I'm right downtown St. Pete. So nice central location, literally central and MLK. And then I've got, like I said, all over the area. I will travel.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like us. You'll see us, anywhere from Apollo Beach to Spring Hill, Pinellas, downtown St. Pete, everywhere we get around to. And I think, being that a lot of us have come accustomed to doing stuff virtually too, it's made things a lot easier.
Definitely. And I mean, it varies greatly depending on the judge that you're in front of. Some judges are still doing mostly everything on Zoom. Some judges are requiring in-person appearances. Like I said, it depends on the case, circumstances,
Totally.
what they take into consideration. But yeah, it's definitely been helpful.
No, absolutely. Well, what's the best way for folks to get a hold of Henry Law if they find themselves in the need?
So my website is henrylawfl.com. My phone number is plastered all over there. Also, it's 2021. I have people that will literally send me a Facebook message. I'm on Facebook, Henry Law. I also have, my private Facebook account, Catherine Henry, and people will find me on there, say, hey, I've got a situation. I'll reach out to them. So that's really my number one, I guess, claim to fame is communication. And one of the things when I was a public defender was the number one complaint, whether you're a public defender or you're a private attorney, whether you do criminal law, civil law, the number one bar complaint that the Florida bar gets about attorneys is lack of communication. And when I was a public defender, communication was very important. One, obviously educating my clients that, yes, I was a real lawyer, but also making sure that they felt heard. And so as a PD, I gave all of my clients my direct phone number so they didn't have to go through a legal assistant or an operator or try and track me down. And I really carried that with me into private practice. All of my clients, once I sign them and they're my client, they get my personal cell phone number. So I tell them they can call me, email me, text me, however they need to get in touch with me. I want them to be able to get in touch with me. And so just an example, I had a client who literally 7 o'clock in the morning cops are showing at her up at her house to arrest her. And she knew that it was perfectly appropriate to call me and let me know. So she called me. She's like, Catherine, they're here. And I was like, okay. I was able to get her out of jail the very next day because she gave me that heads up. I was able to contact the state, contact the judge, get a hearing scheduled. So again, she didn't have to worry about what my business hours were, or, getting to an assistant to then get the message to me. She had that direct lifeline to me. And that's what I want all of my clients to feel, is that empowerment, and that, I have their back. They've got this lawyer, they can call me, and I can walk them through whatever the situation may be.
Awesome. Yeah, accessibility is something I think very important in business these days. And with so many avenues to get a hold of somebody, as long as you keep those bridges open, it's easy to get a hold of somebody. And I think that's very important.
Yes.
Well, I sure appreciate you joining me today. It's great to learn more about your business and your experience in the legal world. And it sounds like you got a great office down there in St. Pete.
Thank you. Yes, I really appreciate you having me, and I look forward to welcoming you to my office to come check it out in the future.
Definitely. We'll have to check it out. Thank you.
Thank you.